Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today we are getting into the volume 21. Me going answering your questions, your immigration questions in the comments. Before we start, I wanted to mention, just like I mentioned in every single video, this is not a legal advice. I am not an immigration attorney, keep that in mind. And all of the information that is provided on this channel is directly from USCIS official website, uscis.gov, and also state.gov, which is the official website for the Department of State. So, without further ado, let's start with the very first comment from Elite Boss 242. Can B2 visitor apply for I-765? I-765 is the application for employment authorization document. And no, Elite Boss 242, unfortunately no. B2 is a non-immigrant visa category for pleasure, for tourism. In order to apply for the employment authorization, you actually have to be in a category that is eligible to legally work in the United States. So it is not the actual document that authorizes you, which it is the employment authorization document after all. But in order to be eligible for it, you first have to be actually in a certain category, like for example work-based visa, or of course whenever it comes to immigration process in general. If there's an immigration case going, a lot of times a lot of those categories authorize you to legally work in the United States. So I am gonna mention that this comment has been answered by posting this, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Hira Azmat. Hello, my husband, US citizen, filed I-30, I'm assuming that's I-130 for spouse, okay, last year in January 2022, and it's still on actively processing. No additional news yet, as time in Nebraska Center is almost over 10.5 months. Can you please let me know how much time can it take for further processing? Alright, so I'm pretty sure it is 10.5 months, but we will double check it just to be on the safe side, and it will be a good opportunity for me to show everyone else who's watching this video how to do that, how to check the processing times. So we're gonna go to the official website for USCIS. We're gonna go into tools. I'm sure there's another way to get to this, but that's how I like to do it. Then the case status online, and then if we scroll all the way down, processing times. So we're gonna go to this page right here, and we're gonna scroll down, petition for alien relative, and it's gonna be spouse. And I think you said that your husband is, yes, US citizen, so we're gonna select US citizen, filing for spouse, parent or child under 21, and then we're going to select Nebraska Service Center, and that will show us how much most of the cases are processed, which is 10.5 months. But if you notice here, it's only for 80% of cases, which means there's still 20% of cases, which is pretty substantial percentage of cases that are being processed either faster or slower. Now in your case, it's been already definitely more than 10.5 months. So I would definitely recommend you go ahead and submit that case inquiry, because yeah, it will say that it's processing, actively processing, but for the most part actively processing really doesn't mean anything. So go ahead, submit inquiry. I've done a separate video on how to do that. Most likely you will get a boilerplate response that, hey, we're still processing your case, but at least you will give a little nudge to USCIS saying, hey guys, take a look at my case. It's taking longer than the normal processing time. And once they do respond with the boilerplate response, even if nothing happens during that time, you can call them up, their customer support line, and follow up and say, hey, I've submitted the inquiry and it's been over the time and still nothing is happening. So definitely do that, and once you get the update, please come back and let us know what's going on with your case. Alright, let's move on to the next one from NDZI Carl. Good job, thank you, sir. You're very welcome, Carl. Thank you for watching. Moving on further to Ricardo Foster. How long on average is a change of status taking to change to F1 student? Okay, so that was a question on my video for I-539, which is the application to extend or change non-immigrant status. So whenever it comes to I-539, typically it is, I recommend giving it 3 to 4 months for processing. These applications, however, for whatever reason. I honestly don't know why. I would think that they are a little bit more taken more as a priority by USCIS, but they are not, unfortunately. And I know a few people that have been waiting already more than 3-4 months, actually more than that, for their response to the I-539 application. Usually it is 3 to 4 months, but if it's taking, I would say, up to 6 months, it can take up to 6 months. But again, I'm going to show you something here while we have this page open. We're going to go I-539, application to exchange, change on immigrant status. I don't know what category you're changing from, but for the purposes of this video, we'll just do change of status to, no, actually change of status to F. There is already to F, so we'll do that. And I'm not sure which office you sent it, but let's do Nebraska for this purposes and see how long. So you see it's almost 2 years. It shows that the standard processing times. Usually they take much faster than that. Don't let this scare you, but this is kind of the worst case scenario in your situation. And that's how long it might take before you can even submit the case inquiry. So I'm gonna place the thing right here saying that I've addressed this question, and we're gonna move on further to a question from Frozen Jan. F3 visa update, please tell me. Okay, so that was commented on I-130. So we're gonna actually take a look. F3 is a priority category whenever it comes to petitions for alien relatives. So we're gonna go. I have the visa bulletin open right here for March 2023, which is, as of right now, the most updated, the most current visa bulletin. And visa bulletin is basically it's provided every month, and updated numbers from the Department of State, basically showing which priority dates are being reviewed currently as of, in this case, March 2023. So we're gonna scroll down here, and you will see the F3 category is for married sons and daughters of US citizens, and they are as of March 2023. The final election dates are in November 2008, and then the dates for filing are in November 2009. Now the difference between the two, I've actually done a separate video. I highly recommend checking out. It's where I explain the visa bulletin. In general, what do these dates mean? What does the final election mean? What does the dates for filing mean? But basically the date for filing, to kind of give you a brief, is when you actually receive that notice from USCIS saying, hey, we have accepted your application. And then the final action dates are when the whole everything is done with the NVC. Once your USCIS case approved, it's transferred to NVC. Once you're all done with the NVC, documentary qualified, now you're just sitting and waiting basically for visa to become available. Once it is available, that's the final action date, and it is currently in November 2008. So if you're all done with the NVC side, that's the date that is applicable to you. And then if you have the receipt notice from USCIS, that is the date that you can judge by if you have not done anything with the NVC just yet, which most likely you are. So November 2008, let me look again. Oh, you didn't really provide. I don't know when you filed that case, but if you, let's say, filed it today, right? Let's say you received that receipt notice today saying, hey, we received your case, it's being processed. November 2009, if they're processing now, that is delay of, let me see, my mathematics are not very good, 14 years. So there's a 14 years as of today, the delay on the issuance of the F3 category visas, which means that if things stay exactly the same and nothing changes, 13 years delay or 14 years delay, that you can kind of predict roughly that the visa is going to be available after 14 years. So 2023 plus 14, it's 2037. Okay, so hopefully that explains it. And I'm gonna place this and we're gonna move on to the next one from Angelica. Can I join my husband in the US after we get married in the Philippines? We will apply for tourist visa first, then spouse visa. Please enlighten me, thanks. Okay, you're very, very, very welcome, Angelica. So you, I think you definitely have the right thing in mind, because whenever it comes to these family immigration based cases, family reunion, I-130, petition for alien relative, they do take quite some time. Whatever category you're in, even if it's, I mean, obviously some categories take much faster compared to some of them, like you've seen in the previous example. I mean, 14 years, that's crazy amount of time, and some of them are even longer than that. Whenever it comes to spouses, these cases are processed much faster, but still there is 6 months to a year roughly with the whole process, with the USCIS approval and then the NVC side. Still, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So if you can get a tourist visa beforehand, come here with your husband and then file that petition, obviously it makes it much easier because you are together with your husband, and then you just need some patience to wait for your immigration case to be processed. However, with that being said, I wanted to mention one thing in these situations, because depending on the consul, the U.S. embassies, depending on the consuls, depending on which country they're from. For example, from my home country, it's really hard to get the tourist visa, and a lot of times, if there is no good reason for you using the tourist visa, your case will be denied. Now, in your situation, again, if you say that, hey, I am going there with my future husband and blah blah blah, that sounds like an immigration. So you are going in for an interview for a non-immigrant visa while you have the immigration plans. So that contradicts each other, and your non-immigrant visa might be denied. So that's something for you to keep in mind. But you can definitely join your husband in the USA after you get married in the Philippines. If you get the tourist visa, great. If not, obviously you will have to wait for the I-130 to be processed and then go through the NVC, go through the medical examination, go through the immigrant visa interview. There's quite a lot of steps involved there, but good luck with that. And if you have any updates and follow-up questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, moving further to CD, God is King. God is King, I meant to that. Hello, my husband is about to file for the form I-130 for my IR1 spouse visa. I am concerned about my passport and if it will impact any part of the processing because my name on it is still my maiden name. Should I get it changed first? Okay, that is actually excellent question. So here's the thing. You can definitely go ahead and do the change of name first. If it doesn't take too much time, go ahead and do it. If it takes, maybe a week, go ahead and do that. But here's the thing. Because the I-130 process takes so long, if your name change, month, 2 months, 3 months, I wouldn't recommend waiting. Because whenever it comes to the name change, it's pretty simple thing to change, especially whenever it comes to changes of names after marriage, right? Because those things are very common and it's very straightforward to prove. You provide the old, document, whatever it is, ID, passport, showing your old name. You provide the new one. You provide the name change certificate. You provide the marriage certificate, and that's it. It really shows that yes, you are the same person, and yes, you changed the name, which is not a big deal at all. So, in short, my answer is, my recommendation in this case, I would say if it takes too long time to change your name, don't bother with it. Just go ahead and submit the I-130 because there's already plenty of time to wait whenever it comes to the I-130 processing, as you probably can see already by now from all my previous responses. Okay, so let's move on to the next one from Pen87 Vlog. This video add my knowledge towards processing time of my petition to my child. Okay, I'm very glad this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. Moving further to Kaukap Sohail. Why visa bulletin not move my F3 case 13 years past? How long they need? Okay, so we're gonna open the visa bulletin once again and look at the F3. So we got F3 and Kaukap is saying it's been 13 years. So if this been 13 years, Kaukap, for your processing of your visa and it has not been issued, it's 14 years delay. So you have about another year, maybe year and a half to wait for the visa to be issued. So you're very close to that visa being issued. I know these times are ridiculous, and I personally can relate because I personally have someone who is waiting for the immigrant visa, one of my relatives that I'm petitioning for, and it's been quite some time, and there is a lot more time that I have to wait for. So you are very, very close, because it's about 14 years delay. Now again, these things, they can speed up as the year goes. That's why Department of State, they release these bulletins every month so that the numbers are updated. Most of the times they stay the same. Sometimes they go faster, sometimes they go slower, just for you to keep in mind. But you still do have a little bit of time left. So I wish you patience, and I wish that your cases speeds up, and not slows down. Okay, so let's move on further to the next one. From Buy YouTube Views, the production value of this is exceptional. Well, I'm glad you found this useful. Moving on to GH Faridi. Hello sir, I am Hyderabad. I apply immigration in I-130 F4 category. So I-130, petition for alien relative, F4 category is the brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens, of adult U.S. citizens, because there's only U.S. citizen that can sponsor for their siblings. And let's see, priority date February 2008. I got received in 2012. Waiting time is 14 years. Please tell me how much time to wait. Okay, so let me double check. February 2008. So as you can see, it actually changed. It's a little bit updated now. It's actually sped up a little bit, so it's no longer 2008, it's actually 2007 now. Did it speed up or did it slow down? 2007 for this, no, it actually slowed down. Wow, it actually slowed down. That's not good. Okay, so instead of 2008, it's now actually 2007. So they're processing, instead of 2008, they're processing 2007, which means it did speed up. No, it slowed down. It's definitely slowed down. Okay. Wow, it took me a while to figure this out. Yeah, see, these dates can be confusing. Even for me, and I look at these dates pretty much every single day. And still, whenever these changes, you take some time to process it. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend, if you have an immigration case going, right? If you're sponsoring somebody, or if you are being sponsored, I-130, keep looking at these dates. Every single month they release updated ones. Keep looking at them, stay on top of them so that you actually track them. So current dates, December 2007. That's for a filing. So whenever you send your original I-130, once you receive that receipt from USCIS saying, hey, we accepted your application, that's when they're processing right now the dates from December 2007. So as of right now, if you filed it today and you received the answer today, there is a delay of about, let's see, my math, 13 years. So 2007 plus 13, yes, 13 years. So there's a delay of 13 years on these. So as of right now, if you file, you will get 2036. Wow, that's a long time. And you received the receipt in 2012. So for you, it has been 11 years. 11 years. So you are close. You're very close. About 2 more years. About 2 more years, looks like it. Because you filed in 2012. There's a 11 years delay for you. And for everybody else, there's about, is it 13 years or is it 16 years? No, it's 16 years. I'm sorry. My math is horrible. It's 16 years, not 13 years delay. So 16 years there is delay, and you have been waiting already for 11 years. So there's another 5 years. That sounds more right. So as of right now, there's 5 years. But again, unfortunately, as you can see in your example, things slow down a little bit. Instead of processing 2008 as of right now, or 2009, which is speeding up, or 2010, which means they're speeding up, they're processing older applications. 2007, which means they slowed down, which means there was a bigger backlog for that year. And again, I've done a separate video where I go in detail and explain the visa bulletin, so check it out. It is uploaded on this channel. I don't have it here so I can show it to you in the comments. But check it out. It's one of the recent videos, and hopefully it will be helpful more to kind of give you understanding of this process. Let's move on to the next one from Romes. Good blog. I'm glad you find it useful. Thank you for your answer. You're very welcome. Moving further to Abhinash Gurum. Can you please tell me about DACA? What's going on about that, please? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with Dhaka. I'm assuming you're asking about Dhaka, the city in Bangladesh, capital of Bangladesh. Let me know, please follow up. Thank you for asking. Your comment has been answered. It didn't really get answered, but please let me know exactly what you're interested in. I'm not familiar with immigration in other, obviously, countries. Here in the United States, mostly, so please provide more information. Hopefully I'll be able to answer that. Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad you found my video useful. Moving further to NDZI Carl. Again, please, is there a link or an account where we can pay the $410 fee into? I mean, if I fill the form online, say, how do I pay the $410? Thanks so much in advance. Okay, Carl, excellent question. So whenever you're filing an application online, once you fill it out, once it is all completed and ready, you will see in the USCIS online account number, it says that the form is not paid yet, and there will be a link where you can actually click and it will take you right there. It's nothing, it's not a separate website, it's still within the USCIS portal. You will have an option to pay for that form right there online with your credit card or debit card. With that being said, I also wanted to mention that I have done a separate video on how to file that immigration fee waiver. So check it out. Maybe it will be applicable to you. So check that video definitely out. All right, moving further. Again from Carl. Great job. Thank you so much. Someone wanted to consult me on how to fill this form for $350, but you saved my rear. I appreciate it. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad this video was useful. All right, let's move on to the next one, and we're gonna stop at this so this video is not too long. At this Passy Big right there, comment from them, and let's start with the Manasi Rabbi here. I would like to know if the Cameroon Embassy and Chad Embassy have already resumed. Which priority date visa category are being actually processed? Okay, let me think about this question right here. So first of all, whenever it comes to the embassies, U.S. embassies in other country, just type in your search for usembassy.gov, and that will give you the list of all the countries that have the U.S. embassies. Just click on that country, find the embassy that you're interested in, and you will be able to look up the information of the embassy, the certain stuff that they are doing, whether they're open or not, or worst case scenario, you can always call them and ask them. Now, moving further to your next question, which priority date and visa category are being actually processed? That's not what you're gonna find on the embassy website. For that, you will have to go to the visa bulletin, and right now, as of right now, the most recent one is March 2023, and these are the pages they release every month. They release the new one, and I'll try to stay with this channel up to date on these visa bulletins and make an updated video for each month as it comes out. But as of right now, these are the current numbers. So this is the information that you need to check. Again, I've done a separate video specifically on visa bulletin. Check it out, and hopefully it will be helpful. Alternatively, you can always put your category. You can always put the date when it was filed and where it was filed, and currently whether it's being processed by USCIS or if it's processed by the NVC, and then I can definitely provide a little bit more details, and we can actually look up the dates that are here on the visa bulletin. All right, so let's move on to the next one from Mr. McNasty. Do you need to be a citizen to file? And there was a comment on I-130, petition for alien relative. No, you don't need to be a citizen in order to file this. You can file this either as LPR, legal permanent resident, or as a citizen. Obviously, whenever you're filing for someone as a citizen, it gives you a little bit more filing options because now you can file for your siblings, and also it speeds up your applications quite a little bit, all right, quite a little bit compared to filing as a legal permanent resident. So there's definitely an advantage of filing as a citizen, but you can also file as a legal permanent resident. All right, let's move on to the next one from Prabhudas Chowdhury, and I'm very sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. How to change address? I-131 beneficiary. Okay, so whenever it comes to the beneficiary on I-131, which is the application for the travel document, for the travel document, there is really no unless you are filing this for someone, which it's not going to really be a beneficiary. It's going to be applicant, and you're just going to be prepared, if that's what you mean. But whenever it comes to changing the address in general, it's interesting that you asked this comment. I actually done a video just yesterday on changing the address, and you want to make sure that the address is changed on 3 sides: USCIS side, USPS side, and also the local state DMV. So the very first thing to change is USPS, to make sure that you don't miss the notices that were already sent by USCIS. And obviously, whenever it comes for the immigration purposes, updating the address in general with USCIS. I've done that. It's a form AR11, and I'm actually going to show it to you here on the official U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. Great opportunity to demonstrate a little bit of site navigation. So this is the front page of USCIS.gov, which is again official government website. We're going to go to forms, and then we're going to click on all forms. And the very first form that you will see is that AR11 aliens change of address. And as you can see, there is an option to file online, and I highly recommend filing the form online because it saves a lot of time. It makes the process much faster. But the worst case scenario, if you don't like filing stuff online, you can definitely print out the form, fill it out, print it out, and send it by mail. But if you can't file it online, I definitely recommend doing that. So I'm gonna place that. And we're gonna move on to our very last question for this volume, and then we will address later further everything else in the next volume. How to join the show on live? All right, Passive Big, that's an excellent question. So right now I'm recording this video, I'm making it, answering your questions. Once it's done recording, immediately I start uploading it to the channel, and then 6 p.m. Eastern it will be premiered live, where I will be sitting in the chat section. So if you have any follow-up questions, you can ask them immediately right there in the chat section. But if you want me to make another video like this and answer your question in detail like this, not over messages in the chat, but more like this verbally, then go ahead and put your follow-up question in the comments below, and I will see it. But I do recommend, if you're not subscribed to this channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, because that way you will get actually the notification that the channel is going live and that the video is premiering, and enable the notifications as well. Okay, so we're gonna answer the very last, because we still have some time before it's 30-minute mark. We got Jagjot Singh. Hi, I have my InfoPass I-994. If I want to go Canada by plane, can I go or not? Okay, so if you have the I-94, whenever it comes to traveling to Canada, with the Canada, they have, between US and Canada, they have the agreement. So you can travel to Canada if you actually have if you're a legal permanent resident of the United States of America, or obviously a citizen of the United States of America. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that. So just because you have the I-94, it doesn't mean anything. You actually have to have a certain status. So let us know. That would be helpful in the comments below. And we actually have some more time, so we'll address a few more answers. Thanks very much. God bless. You're very welcome. From Mario Walter Lopez, I noticed that you have no answer at all for question regarding category P22. It means that you obtain your green card as a child or a lawful permanent resident. So question to be answered: what to choose in the category section for P22 category? Okay, Mario, so whenever it comes to the P22 category, USCIS, they no longer use that category at all. It might have been used in the past, but they currently do not use it at all. So it's kind of scratched because when you get the green card as a child, it means you become a permanent resident, and that's the status. So the category how you got the green card, you don't really use it anywhere. It was used before on the USCIS side, but it is no longer used. So to answer your question, what to choose in the category section for P22 category, I'm gonna actually need to know where which application, which petition you're putting this category. But again, I'm not sure if I responded before, or maybe I'm not sure where you're getting this P22 in general, but I'm definitely going to need a little bit more information on that, which application you're filling out. Let's move on to the very last one for today from Be Bright Acapella. I have a question. I'm applying for refugee travel document, and they say that I have to attach a copy of a document that shows my refugee or asylee status. I want to know what that document is. Okay, so you're applying for refugee travel document, and they say that I have to attach a document that shows my refugee or asylee status. I want to know, is it a green card receipt or US border protection, or is it something else? Please answer me, sir. Okay, Be Bright Acapella. I have a little bit of trouble understanding your situation. So you're applying for a travel document, for a refugee travel document, but you don't know which. Are you currently a refugee or an asylee? Because if you are not, then obviously you would know what document, grants you that asylum status or refugee status. But if you are, then you definitely do know which document it is, and all you really need to do is just provide a copy of it. And also, is it a green card receipt? I'm not sure what the green card receipt is. Maybe it's the receipt for the application that you submitted for the adjustment of status, and if you have already applied for the adjustment of status, where you actually had to provide also the documents that prove your asylum or refugee status, then obviously you already provided that. So it's exactly the same documents. So please let me know in the comments below a little bit more details on your situation, which status that you're in, and what exactly you're applying for, because it looks like you're not just applying for the travel document, but also for the adjustment of status. And I will be hopefully able to follow up on your question. So thank you very much, everyone, for sticking around for this video. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions in the comments below, and I'll try to address them. As always, thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.